Hello, Four Horsemen, you alright? Before I start, I just want to say that the reason that Glenn does not like Love Island is that's where he met his ex-wife. So, are we all okay?
Yes!
Because let's not pretend the last 3 years have been shit.
Yes.
And that's not set to improve. Because I'm doing new material. And old material too. But I'm sick and tired of watching the news. It's depressing. I mean, there was a time before COVID where you could watch the news and you'd be guaranteed that at the end of the news you'd have a good news story. Now all we get is a UK weather forecast. But we've got everything going wrong, haven't we? We've had COVID, then we've had cost of living rising, cost of fuel rising, corrupt politicians, and World War III could break out at any moment between ITV and BBC, to which presenter's got the best dick pic. Now I won't reveal who they are, but I'm sure if you ask around, someone will fill you in. Now I'm going to try this next one. Do we have any rugby fans here tonight? It's not word, but I'm still going to do it, if that's okay. What's the difference between England rugby player Owen Farrell and Hugh Edwards? Owen Farrell doesn't get in trouble for showing his tackle. Sorry about that, I am from Gloucester. It's not a bad place. We've got a beautiful cathedral and a cake shop run by our most famous resident, Rose West. But we're not just famous for serial killers, because a couple of years ago, somebody turned up to our local hospital with a World War II mortar up his bottom. Someone like that. Apparently he slipped and fell. They had to call out the bum squad. Now I'm glad his family didn't find him. They would have been mortified. And I'm not going to judge him, but what I will say is, I wouldn't want to be on his ward when he blows off. So I got a new job. I'm a caretaker, which is ironic because I can't take care of myself and others. At work I'm described as funny, but on the verge of a breakdown. When I do comedy, I'm described as on the verge of a breakdown. Now I don't get many laughs, but people stick around. So thank you for that. Now my new job requires me to do DIY. But I have to admit, I'm bloody useless at it. Now you'd think that being at home, I'd make good use of my time. Attempt some DIY. Well, I do. I close the curtains, put on Babe Station. But no matter what DIY I attempt, whether it's at home or work, the outcome is always the same. The finished job's a mess, and I'm crying. So you probably worked out that I am single, for good reason. I have a cold for 9 months of the year. For 3 months I have hay fever. I'm very uncomfortable around the opposite sex because of my erection. And do the job I do because I have emotional outbursts over the smallest things. My erection. That being said, I have had successful relationships. I met someone once where we connected on all levels. Music, ideals, personality. Neither has had one. But there were two things that ruined it for us both. She had OCD, and I live in a shit tip. She walked out on me, which came as a surprise, because I thought I locked the door. And she insisted she checked it 132 times. I'm also a terrible driver. Took me a long time to pass my driving test. My instructor once told me that he believed that people who struggle to learn to drive are of high intelligence. Very kind of him to say so, because I just drove into a tree. He's now in a coma. I can't reverse. I once reversed into a miner, but God knows how I ended up in a mine shaft. But my problem nowadays is I've got a terrible sense of direction. Well, I've got no sense, that's why I keep getting lost. But luckily, we have modern devices, such as Google Maps. But let me tell you something about Google Maps. Google Maps works